Welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all all had a fantastic week. Mine was pretty eventful, just one day of it. I attempted to rescue a dog. I was on my way home, and my coworkers, they've been cracking me up with this. They edited like an Amber Alert, and they put my name in there because they said I abducted this dog. But give you a little details of the story. Anyway, so I was on my way home, and I seen this dog, and like you could barely see her like looking up above the grass, and she looked terrified because obviously she was in the median, just like scared of all this cars going back. So immediately I like did a UE. I was like, I'm gonna come save you. And I was actually on the phone with Kyle, and he's like, Soph, no, please don't do it. We can't do another dog. And I was like, I gotta save her. Well, at the time I didn't know it was a girl. So I pull up, I put my hazards on, a big old truck behind me, he put his on. I think he knew what I was doing. And I get out of the car, and I'm like, come here, girl, or come here. And you could see her tail wagging, and then when she's coming out of the grass, I just see that she's extremely breastfeeding. And she was breastfeeding puppies, if you're catching my drift. But she was really friendly. She came right up to me, and I was kind of rushing because obviously I was stopping a lane of traffic to get this dog, and I wasn't too far from the house, maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. And so I put her in the backseat of my car, and she's just loving life. She's like super happy. And I was just like, Kyle, what are we gonna do? Because she was obviously a stray, no collar, kind of looked malnourished. And so we ended up taking her to animal emergency care, and they said they couldn't take her because they do not take dogs or cats unless they've been injured. I ended up taking her to that shelter, or the animal care, because all the animal places here are kill shelters, which is really sad, and I didn't want that to happen to her, and I was just trying to be the hero. And what he recommended doing, he was like, it's kind of like Sophie's Choice. I don't know. But yeah, he was like, either you take her to the shelter, and all of her puppies, because obviously she was still breastfeeding, either you take her to a shelter and all of her puppies die, or you take her back to where you found her, and she gets hit by a car, and all of her puppies die. And I was just like, ugh! I was like, this is a terrible thing. And he said, or you could take her to the shelter. She may not get adopted, or she could die. And I was just like, oh my god! I was like, why are you giving me these choices? I was like, this is so hard. So what he recommended doing was to take her back where I got her, and to have her on a leash and see if she would lead us to her puppies. There was 2 houses on that strip of road, and one house was completely that ain't our dog. So me and Kyle were just like, okay. So we went to the next house, and they didn't seem too observant of what was going on around their house, if you catch my drift. So it could have very well been their dog, but they denied it. Very sweet people, but I don't think they would have known if it was theirs or not, if that makes sense. So anyway, so I told them, and they kept saying no, we don't want her, blah, blah, blah. So what me and Kyle ended up doing was taking her to the middle strip, and we looked like 2 crazy people, because we were trying to see which side on the road she was trying to get to. So one car actually stopped. She was like, hey, I'm writing a book. Can I get your picture? And I was like, no, you can't, but you can take his picture, not mine. But I thought that was really weird. I thought maybe she was just trying to rat us out, saying we're these people trying to drop off a dog in the middle of the road. And then another car stopped behind our car that had her hazards on. And Kyle was getting really nervous. He was like, she's writing down her license plate. And I was like, no, she's not. But she ended up helping us super much. She is she worked for a bunch of local animal shelters, and she knew that we were trying to help the dog some way. But she ended up helping us trying to find the dog's puppies. So the dog ended up walking back across the street to those people's house, the second one. And we were leading her because they had their whole backyard fenced in. It was like this far off the ground, but it was a horse electric fence wire. Because they had one dog, beautiful, like a husky dog that they had in the back. The dog wasn't like chained or anything. It was like free running, but it was definitely not touching this fence. Their dog. But this dog that we had, we were trying to lead her away from the fence, and she led us in the woods a little bit, and we're like, oh, she's taking us to her puppies. Nope, she was taking a poop. But then we took her off of her leash, and then we were kind of letting her roam because we thought maybe she'd find her puppies on her own. And then she went to the fence, like she was probably like 100 yards away from us, and she went to the fence, and we were all like covering up her ears. We're like, oh, but she like jumped over it and like ran in the middle, and the dog, and then she jumped over the other fence. So obviously she knew that it was electric, so which made us, think like she knows this house. But she went underneath the porch, so we put 2 and 2 together that maybe her puppies were under there. So we ended up leaving. We didn't want to like sneak up back to the house and be like, I knew it, the puppies are under there. So we ended up, leaving because by then it was getting kind of dark already. So that was my eventful week. And they've been cracking jokes on me at work all week because I stole a dog but took it back. Because she was with us all afternoon from because I picked her up after work, so it was like 4 to 8. So, yeah, we had her for a long time. But she ended up going back, and we gave her a bunch of water, so my conscience is clear. I feel good about that she's with her puppy. She's safe. So I feel good about that. Besides that, so that was my week of fun. I've been getting a lot of questions about who am I going to be hiking with, or am I going to be doing a solo hike? So as much as I love myself, I don't think I would be able to do a solo hike. I do like a little bit of human interaction, but I have been asking around, and my best friend Chase is going to be the one I'm going to be hiking with. And he's like the bestest of friends. We've been friends for, it's probably been close to 10, 11 years now. We've been friends for a really long time. He lives in Athens, Georgia, which is a beautiful town if you've been there or ever get a chance to go. Very, very, very fun town. Me and him did a backpacking trip last year, and we had a lot of fun. And I love backpacking with him because I am like the animal expert as far as poop and tracks go, but he is the expert as far as plants go. I know like the basic plants, like the ones you need to stay away from, because as a kid I actually had a really bad reaction to poison ivy. It started like a little spot right here, and it spread through my whole body. I forget how old I was. I know I was in school, and everybody made fun of me, and it was terrible. And I had to get like 5 or 6 shots in my butt because my reaction was like that bad. My whole body was swollen. It was just like, I looked like Toxic Avenger. When he wears his little tutu, and he's just like, oh, yeah, that's what I envisioned I look like. But ever since then, I've never had a problem with poison ivy. So I'm thinking that was like my Spider-Man. I got bit by the poison ivy, but now I just master it. So I can run through the woods in some shorts, and I'll be good to go. So I'm not affected. I say that now. There's some wood I can knock on. Nothing's wood. We'll just pretend that's wood. But yeah, so he's like really good at recognizing plants, which is really awesome because it gives you a different perspective about where you're at. There's a lot of people, I think, when they're hiking through the woods, they're just like, man, look at all these cool trees. They all look the same. Look at them mountains over there. But he really takes the time to analyze things that a lot of people, just walk past. And he really looks at the beauty of things, which is, definitely a break from reality and something that I really like in him. He also really enjoys poetry, and he actually got me really interested in this one poet. Her name is Mary Oliver. So if you get a chance to read The Summer's Day, it's really awesome. I actually have that hanging up at work. He sends it to me. When I was on my 2 deployments, he would always send me little postcards, and he would make them. He'd make all of them, so he would like press flowers on them and then paint them, and then he would always write me a poem on every single one. The only flaw he had is his handwriting was so terrible. I still tell him that. His handwriting's pretty bad, so some of them it was like I was like a puzzle piece, like National Treasure. Like I was like with my little microscope just looking down. I'm like, all right, that's what he means by that poem, because I was just trying to figure out what exactly it said. But I did crack all of them, so we're good to go. So hiking gear. Right now I've been looking at what I think I'm at a good spot right now, because I actually don't do the hike until 2019, but I don't think that is a bad thing. I actually think that's a really, really good thing. I see a lot of the YouTube videos I'm watching. A lot of people do plan for it, but a lot of them are just like spur of the moment. They only get like 6 months to a year to actually save money for it and get all the gear for it. And they don't really get the chance to test their gear. So I think I'm in a special advantage from that, because I can get inputs from you guys about what gear you recommend. But at the same time, hitting up those REI garage deals on my app on my phone. So I do get those. The end of this month, like I said, me and my fiance are driving down to Nashville, because that is the closest REI store. And we're just going to spend the weekend there and buy a couple things and then test it out. And I'll be definitely giving you a gear review on that. Alright, so that wraps it up for this week. If you have any questions or any comments that you have about my channel, about what I'm planning, or upcoming events that I have, then feel free to email me or leave the comments below. And I'll be either making a video in response, or I will be replying back to your comments. So, I hope everybody had an awesome week, and I will see you next week. Boo 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 boo. I'm not good at ending these. And here comes Call to the Rescue. Do 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 do.